Page 28, Hornpipe. It's another piece dealing with a lot of syncopation. A tricky little piece. 3/4 time, 1 sharp, so it's in G major or E minor. Well, let's look at the end. Last measure is here. That sounds E minor to me. Lots of 16th notes. At the beginning, you have a pickup beat, and it's a 2 16th notes, which is the same as an 8th note, which is a half a beat. So you're coming in on the end of 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. The rest of the measures at the bottom, I'm hoping it says, look at the last measure down there. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and. See, there's no and there. It's a half a beat short. Well, it's a half a beat at the beginning, and that's it. So it's and 1 and 1. So real slowly, we'll just get the notes in the rhythm. And 1 and 2. That's tied. 1 and 2 and you got a third finger here. 3 and 1 and you got to reach down. 1, 2 and 1. Thumb comes under. So it's 1. This is the last 2 measures. The first line. 1 and 2 and 3 and. See, I'm too lazy to count 1 and a 2 and. I just throw 1 and 2 and I know there's 2 16th notes in there. So again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. That's tied there. And you can use the third finger on that B if you want. The actual chord is here. The G's we're done with. We had G. And third finger's fine. Let's go on the second line. You got to come up here, 4th finger, and it's got to pick up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. Second finger on that D. And 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. You're just kind of going up. It's the inversions of the G chord. You're just going up. Hit these sometimes. Go on, last measure. Here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and. Got a lot of tied notes here. And 2 and 3 and. You're going to come out D sharp. And 2 and 3 and 4. And again, I use third finger on that B. You go as slow as you got to go and careful as you got to go to get this right hand so you can play the whole thing with the fingering they've got. It's fine, except for those 2 suggestions I made. All connected as best you can, other than you can't connect all of it like at the end of the first line here. And going on to the second line, you got to lift up and move, so you can't connect that. And sometimes when you do the repeat, you can't connect. But otherwise, try and connect it. Then the left hand here, thumb again, 1 and 2 and 3. And then it's quarter notes. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. Now here, second finger's fine on the beat. For the most part, the left hand's just a bunch of quarter notes. So slowly put the hands together. So you can see which note in the right hand plays with the left hand quarter note. Touch together, right there. 1 and 2, because now you're tying that. And that's together. That's a little tricky. Got to watch the fingering there in that measure. Doing the scales, I hope you have. These little runs like this, you shouldn't have any problem in playing those smooth and connected. If you haven't been doing the scales, you're probably going to struggle with that. Second line, here, you come up here, and 2. here. The left hand, now you need fifth finger on, so you're going here to here. And that's important because it puts you in position for all these other notes coming on. You got stuff going on the right hand, so you want your left hand in position so you don't have to think about it too much. You got to focus on the right hand. So that fifth finger there is important. So let's start the second line again. You're here. And then we want second finger on that one. Reach up with the left hand, it's an octave. And then second finger. Make sure you're following this fingering in the left hand, it's important. This last line is here. Second finger in the left hand. And second finger in the left hand again. This takes some counting out and some careful coordination of the hands. It's good exercise. Gradually go as slow as you gotta go, and then you can gradually speed it up. Go ahead and when you're ready, add the articulation. The left hand, for the most part, is just going to be legato throughout. Just legato throughout. The right hand has some staccatos, so it's here. So lift up. Ba-da-dump. See, lift up there on these staccatos. The left hand, I would just play all the left hand legato, I think. I know they've got some slurs marked in there, and I'm not quite sure why. To me, in my mind, the left hand could just as easily be legato. But the right hand, we want these. That breaks between the slurs and the staccatos, that's... Something like that, slowly. Then you gradually speed that up, and then we can add the dynamics. The dynamics, of course, are suggestions, but it's to the right hand. Keep the left hand soft, so it's sort of moderately loud at the beginning. And it has an on repeat P. That means when you repeat the first line, the second time you play it soft. So that's the right hand. The left hand has to be really soft. So. The second line, you start out loud. That's the right hand. Keep the left. Then at the end of the line, you see the moderately soft. Now you come down to moderate. That's the right. Now moderately loud. And now loud. We just crescendoed is all we did. End it loud. As far as the speed goes, it says lively, but it has to be your brand of lively. What's lively to you, and what can you play correctly? That's lively. Somebody else's lively is different. So it's the melody, it's the flow of the piece is lively. How fast the beat goes depends on the flow of the piece. Don't let the beat determine the other stuff. Let the flow of the piece and what's in the music determine how fast the beat's going to go. Lively? Maybe slower than that? That's fine. Maybe that's your lively. It's a personal thing. I like to do a play with me with you, and we're going to go really super slow because we're just checking notes and rhythms. Not going to do any dynamics or anything. Just notes and rhythms, and I will try and do the staccatos. And we are going to take the repeats, all of the repeats that are here. So the first line we're going to play twice, and then the last two lines, they have repeat signs on each in it. We're going to play those two lines twice. So I'm going to give us 3 counts, so we come in on the end of 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 type thing. Now because of all these 16th notes in here, I set the metronome to beat 8th notes. So it's beating 1 and 2 and 2 and so those 16th notes are still going to fly. So let's try that. 1 and 2 and go.